Right, we're joined back with Dave Hale. We're sitting right by his allotment plot at the moment. We were just going through what you've got growing in your plot. How do you do with preparing the soil for next year and sort of rotating the plants?
Rotation on an allotment is, as a lot of people have guessed, very important indeed, because it's a finite amount of space. As I explained to you, it's something like 80 feet long, about 30 feet wide. What this plot is actually divided up into is 4 divisions. And what is at the one end, let's say the left-hand side of the plot this year, will move to the middle, and the middle will move to the right-hand side. It's very important that we do actually rotate, because inevitably, because it is of a finite size, it will perhaps build up resistance, it will build up diseases. The other thing is, of course, some plants need certain nutrients, other plants need different nutrients in the ground, and they will take what they want from the ground. There's no point in denuding or taking out all the nutrient by planting something in the same place every year. So what rotation is very, very important indeed. So the potatoes at the top on your left-hand side, as you can see them, will come to the centre, and this monster of squash and beans and other legumes will actually come into this particular plot right in front of you to the right-hand side, and then we will move on down. So it's actually split into 4. It's done deliberately to make sure that the plants which are in situation this year or in that position this year won't actually take out too much goodness. At the same time, as you can see, there are certain bare patches because we have been picking. The onions have gone, for instance. We've been picking those, and they're now drying off in my at home. In fact, we're eating some of them, and delicious they are as well. But you can see that there is what I will probably do with that bare patch there, and as it becomes bare, I will try for the first time this year, personally, to put green manure in, which I will plant now and sow broadcast. Over the winter that will grow, but it means that when I come to rotivate, dig over, I will just plough that or just rotivate it straight into the ground. It's a plant which is very, very useful and provides a green manure. It just goes into the ground, and I would dig it into the ground. It will just stay there, quite frankly, break down, and provides those nutrients that those plants coming on for next year will actually need. So this year, for once, I'm actually digging it as I'm taking the produce out. I'm actually digging it and planting green manure in it. But as you can see, you're actually resting up about 3 huge compost heaps. All of that, which have been collected over the year, will be going back into the soil, and will be rotivated into the soil as well. What comes out and what you're taking out, you must replenish it. It goes without saying. Simply because, as I say, we have a finite size, finite plot here. And you need to replenish I like to do it naturally. Lots of people will put other fertilisers. We have no problem with that as a society. So my next door neighbour might want to do it slightly differently. She might want to buy an artificial fertiliser. We don't have a problem where that's concerned. I like to try it as organically as I possibly can without too much fertiliser. That's my personal choice.
Now, I was talking to Mary back in the shop, and I was saying to you while we were setting this recording equipment up that our apple tree at home is doing relatively well this year, a lot better than last year, and I think you were saying yours is the same.
Yeah, I when I moved to the island about 30 odd years ago, I actually inherited a couple of apple trees. Unfortunately, one did die, but I now still have a Cox's orange pippin in the garden, and it's far older than I am. I'm convinced of it, but it's something I would like to keep as a heritage type of plant because it belongs to the garden. But like you, this old age Cox's orange pippin is growing apples like crazy, but I do help it a little bit because it's actually growing clusters of apples.
Yeah, that's how ours is doing at the moment.
Yeah, so what I've done is take off a few of the apples in their early stages. That helps the tree considerably. As you were saying, your tree is now so laden with apples it's bending over.
Yeah, and we're cutting some off.
And you're in danger of bending it and breaking the branches, which is not good because that will... Unfortunately, it could help to get a disease into the branch. So as far as you can prevent that, the better it is for the tree. So what I actually do, and mine is a much older tree than yours, what I actually do is take some of the apples off and allow them to grow larger, rather than having 5 very small or very puny apples. is not as good as having 2 or 3 much larger, much more edible apples. But mine's a Cox's Orange Pippin, of which I'm very proud, actually. So there you go. But it's doing us proud this year, notwithstanding the amount of dryness that we actually have. So it's a curiosity.
We are joined with Dave Hale. We're talking to him sitting by his allotment plot here at Richmond Street on the Monday night community show.